My topic for this video is all about acceptance. So what does it mean to accept something or even someone? So I want to talk today about acceptance of a situation. And I'm going to talk more so about a current situation. And like in my last video where we talked about adjustments, I'm going to talk about the acceptance of the adjustments we have to make, which goes right along with attitude. And then the acceptance of our relationships, specifically family relationships. So as we go along in this video, I encourage you to comment in the comment section about what are the things that you are having a difficult time accepting. Are there things that you just cannot, will not, don't want to accept? Because it really goes into those categories: cannot, will not, or really don't want to accept. So I encourage you to comment, because I love looking at the comments and seeing what people are thinking and what really they're struggling with, because I do a lot of mentoring with people and I really like to help them over these hurdles. So I like to hear what you are struggling with in your acceptance. So let's think about current situations. Maybe you have had to make an adjustment to your current situation, like I talked about in the previous video about an adjustment to your spending. Okay, so are you struggling accepting that? Or are you saying, gosh darn it, I don't want to make a change. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to not do this. Well, who are you hurting in not accepting that? You're not hurting anybody else but yourself. You have to come to the acceptance of what is your current situation and how are you going to deal with it? Because you're only going to make everyone else miserable. Personally, I've had a lot of major health issues, and I came to the realization quite early, thank goodness, that I had to accept where I was in that health situation. I'm not saying that I accepted poor health. No. But like I broke my ankle and was on crutches for 2 years. I didn't have a choice in that, but I had to accept it. I had to deal with it. And really, there's still some fond memories of that, by where I really came to the acceptance of that was my plight in life for that time period, for those 2 years. And I had to accept it. And it goes back again to that attitude and that adjustment that has to be made in what you are going to do, how you are going to accept it. So what is your current situation? What are you doing right now that you're having a difficult time accepting? For a lot of people, it comes down to finances, but there's many different things. Are you having a difficult time accepting that maybe your looks aren't what they want? I think all of us, especially women, but men too, we struggle with accepting how we look. Well, then are there things that you can adjust to that? Or are there things of just the way you are? I have a huge bump on my nose. Well, it's been broken 3 times. Have I gotten it fixed? No. Does it bother me looks-wise? Sure. But is it enough to get it fixed? No. So, again, what am I willing to accept and not to accept? All right? Then again, the acceptance of the adjustments. Are you going to accept that adjustment that you have to make? Or are you going to fight it? Like I said before, if you fight it, it's just going to make it worse. Is it inevitable? Is it that you had to start again with your job? Is it, I got hired for a job after I taught for many years, and then I went away from it and did for a year of other things. and then I came back, I had to accept that I was going to start at a lower level. But then the Lord rose me up and got me further in the job than I had ever imagined. But I had to accept where I was, not to think that I was better than everyone else, but it was an acceptance of where my current position was. Because I will tell you, the more you fight it, the more you come against it, the harder it is. All right, so then let's talk about relationships, especially family. I think for a lot of people, they have a very difficult time accepting maybe their position in the family, maybe the people in their family, whatever the case may be. They have a difficult time with acceptance of family. But we have to remember, God gave us our family. We didn't get to choose them. We can choose our friends, but we cannot choose our family. But something the Lord impressed upon me the other day, he said, I put you in your family, in the position in your family, because I'm the middle child, and I put you there for a specific purpose, a specific reason. So, am I accepting of that, or am I fighting that? Am I going back to him and saying, okay, Lord, help me with this acceptance? Or am I fighting it and saying, no, I won't accept that. I don't like my family. I'm going to do whatever the case may be to find a new family. I won't accept my family. And I'm not saying that they are your best friends. I'm not saying that. But they are your family. And there's nothing you can do to change that. But is that a bad thing? Maybe in some cases, yes. But if you come into that acceptance, don't be angry about it. Come into the acceptance of saying, okay, maybe my family isn't perfect, because I don't know any family that is. But we can accept the family that the Lord has given us, and we can say, okay, Lord, help me to deal with this family. That's all I'm saying to you. So it goes back to, again, the acceptance. So I encourage you again to tell me in the comments, what are you struggling to accept? What are you having the most difficult time accepting in your life? Because those are the things that will stop us from moving ahead. We fight it. We say, no, I don't want to do that, instead of accepting it and moving on. Was it really that big of a deal in the long run? Back to when I broke my ankle. Was it a big deal? Sure. I couldn't go to college when I was supposed to. There was all kinds of things that it interfered with. But if I looked at that with just a miserable, back to attitude, if I had a miserable attitude about it, well, then guess what? It made the adjustment more difficult, and thus my attitude more difficult. So think about the acceptance of what are you really, and I'll just say one thing. What is right now for you the most difficult thing for you to accept? And ask yourself why. Or maybe you don't have an answer why. Then ask the Lord to reveal it to you. And believe me, he will. Because he wants us to come into that acceptance of whatever he has for us, and to accept it and embrace it and let him make that difference in our lives. So I encourage you to do so, and I encourage you to click on the next video where I bring all three of these together. Yes, I've done that in these videos so far, but I make the connection between the three that I've talked about: the attitude, the acceptance, and the adjustment. Thank you for joining me. See you soon.